Hi, Tuesday, the 12th of April, and I hope you're all well and that your week kicked off well. Firstly, I must just apologise for the quality of this vlog. I need to get a new camera. The camera that I want to get is unfortunately not out in the shops, or on Amazon or whatever for another couple of weeks. And I've done a lot of research looking for the camera that I want, hours and hours, typical of me when I'm going to buy something. So for the sake of a couple of weeks, it is worth my waiting, but it does mean that this vlog and other vlogs that I do between now and the beginning of May are going to be appalling in terms of the light and the sound, everything like that. So I do apologise, but please bear with me. Brandon Stanton is a name that some of you will know and some of you will not, but he is the founder of Humans of New York. Now, a lot of you will have heard of Humans of New York, but not all of you. And I will go into that in some detail as this vlog goes on. But Brandon's work resonates with me. I love his work, and it's great work and it's very important work. A simple idea. I say simple. I mean, it's simple in hindsight. A simple idea conceived in Brandon's mind. Humans of New York was born in 2010. So, in summary, Brandon's journey in relation to this, Brandon's journey, as I say, relatively short in duration, but epic, colossal, mammoth in achievement and importance. Has seen him publish thousands of photographs of people in New York, and I don't mean to appear disingenuous here, but the important word that I have to use here, and I'll say move on from this, but is that the people are ordinary people. Now, I say I don't mean that in a disrespectful way. Ordinary, I mean in the sense that they're not celebrities, they're not famous. These are just ordinary people that if we were going about our daily lives, if we were in New York and we were just going about our daily lives or going about our business in the ordinary course of events, people who we would probably just not even notice. Young, old, black, white, able-bodied, other people with obvious difficulties, limitations, some looking as if they're sort of financially well-to-do, others who perhaps come across as having fallen on hard times, some well-dressed, and other people perhaps just in their work gear, blue-collar workers in their overalls on the way to work in the morning. I mean, just ordinary people, not famous, not celebrities. Now, the point here is that the word that I use, ordinary, is 100% the wrong word. Brandon is showing us that in Humans of New York, that no one is ordinary, that everyone has a story to tell, that everybody is, however indescript it might look, that there's a story in everybody, that everybody has a value, that everybody is a person of substance, even if they themselves don't realise it. And I think it's also, to take that point on a little bit more, is that not only are we supposed to, is Brandon teaching us that everybody's important, that everybody, as I say, is a person of substance, that everyone has a story to tell, that we are one of those people. I mean, that we are also, even though we often don't realise it, and I often don't appreciate it, that we ourselves are also people of substance. We also have a story to tell, and that our lives also have an impact on other people, that our lives have an impact on other people. And I think that's an important point for a lot of us, particularly those of us who have low self-esteem and low self-confidence. That, yesterday yesterday I had a thought, which is unfortunately a recurring thought, that keeps dawning on me, that if I was suddenly to drop dead, that the world at large wouldn't miss me. Yeah, there'd be some tears, obviously, well, I hope, within the family and within a circle of my close friends, but that nothing in the world at large would change. 99.9999% recurring percent of the population wouldn't notice any change in their lives. My having been on the planet would have had no effect on the lives of 99.99% of the population, and my leaving would have no effect. And that ties in with the sense that I often have of myself as having little or no value. But as I say, the fact that I see, and that Brandon is teaching us that we have to see, that the people around us have got value, and their lives have an impact on other people, that we as the people that they look at, we also have important lives, and we also have an effect on people. Our lives impact on other people. So Brandon, up to 2010, was living in Chicago. He lost his job in the financial services industry. So did I say he was in Chicago? He then moved to New York, and one door shuts and another door opens. He used that as an opportunity to go professional as a photographer, and to work full time in that capacity. And he would taken all these photographs, and armed with these photographs, he created a book. As I say, this was in 2010. He didn't publish that book in 2010. What he did do in, I think it was around November 2010, he created a Facebook page for humans of New York. He put the photographs onto Facebook with captions and quotations from the people who he was photographing, and that developed into interviews, and the whole thing took off. In 2000, and then in 2013, I think it was, Brandon published the book, and it was a huge success. Just looking at this, it reached number one position on the New York Times non-fiction bestsellers list of 2013. And Humans of New York, the Facebook page, has now got almost 17.4 million what are called Facebook likes. In essence, that means that the whole thing has taken off stratospheric. According to Wikipedia, in December, so I'm just looking at this on the top of my head, in December 2013, Brandon Stanton was named one of Time magazine's 30 under 30 people changing the world. Now that's a heck of a thing, changing the world. But and you might think, what? Is that not a bit over the top? But it's not. Not to me. I get that. Look, we need to engage more with people. We need to get more communal. We need to focus on our communities and focus less and less on ourselves. I mean, I think that's a hugely important. I think that's very important, and I think that's something that reading his mind, and which obviously I can't do, but I'm assuming that is what Brandon wants us to do, to take note of the people around us. Look, if we take that a step or 5 steps further, if people who hate us, for example, racists, people who hate Jews, blacks, people who hate gay people, if haters really got to know the people who they hate on paper, but they haven't actually, most of the time, who they haven't actually met. Some of course not all of it, but I think some of the hatred, if the haters got to know us as people, some of the hatred would dissipate. It's harder to hate people if you know them, which is why the Nazis dehumanized the Jews and other victims, so as to make it easier, as if they needed it to be made easier, for the foot soldiers, if you like, to torture and kill their victims. Look, if instead of victims of war being seen as statistics, if they were seen as people, as individuals, as humans, we might not have to witness as much war. If perpetrators of crime were to get to know the people against whom they commit their crimes, the people they hurt, if they were to meet those people as humans, then look, a lot of the crime would still happen, but I think some of it wouldn't happen. They might think twice before committing the crimes. If politicians came out of their ivory towers, not just pre-election, but came out of their ivory towers more and met the people who they are supposed to represent, if they met them and got to know them as people, as individuals, as humans, then perhaps when deliberating about policy, when making policy, if they would be more likely to have the people they represent, if they would be more likely to have those people in their mind when making policy, and that, for obvious reasons, would be a good thing. So, back to us, if we as individuals got to know the people around us in our communities, we might focus more on the communities and less on ourselves as individuals. So we have to engage. I think if we do, then I think that the effect, not just on others, but I think on ourselves would be huge. I'm not saying that what I'm going to say now makes me unique. I'm sure millions of other people feel the same way that I do, but I've always been fascinated by people, their lives, their stories, and their experiences, regardless of whether or not they are famous, strangers, people I've never met before. And I suppose the foundation of that interest is my belief that everyone has a story to tell, that everyone has something interesting about them, and without wanting to appear selfish, that I can learn something from listening to complete strangers telling me about their lives. A lot of you who know me, a lot of you who've been watching these vlogs, will know that I am new to vlogging. I've been blogging for probably around about 3 years, but the vlogging is new. And I'm trying to find my space, my place, where I'm most comfortable in. I don't like this word, but in the vlogosphere. And I can see myself moving in the direction of interviewing people. I want to interview, and I use this word again to differentiate between famous people, celebrities. I want to interview ordinary people, but underneath that ordinariness, if there was such a word, people who have inspirational stories to tell, people who have perhaps overcome difficulties, people who might in their lives have had to swim, against the current, against the tide, people who perhaps have beaten the odds, jumped hurdles. I had a couple of people, for a while I've had 2 or 3 people in mind, but I thought, look, I want to move this on. So I looked through my list of Facebook friends, Now, and I thought, see if I could come up with some other people that I would like to interview. And I've got I'm not showing up, but I've got 535 Facebook friends. And I went through the whole list, and I wrote down the name of just 17 people. 17 out of 535, which is just short of 0.5%. And I think that makes the point that I've been making, perhaps labouring on, I apologise for that, I think that makes my point loud and clear. I only identified 17 out of 535 people as having a story to tell. But, my guess is that all 535 of them have, to a lesser or greater extent, got a story to tell. And I think the fact that I only identified 17 emphasises the fact that I know really so little, in many of the cases, about the people in that, who are friends of mine. Look, obviously not all of the people in that list of 535 people are my close friends, but some of them are. But still, a lot more than 17 are close friends of mine. Heck, more than, but I only identified 17. So I am aware, as I am, that a lot more than 17 have got a story to tell. I will be, I can picture all these people running away now and hiding from me, but I will be delving into that pool of people and beyond for potential interviewees over the next few weeks. So watch this space. There it is, another piece in the jigsaw of my artistic, creative, wow, it sounds pompous, of my professional transition. Don't know why I'm drinking this. It is cold now. Anyway, let's call it a day. It is evening now. I hope the rest of your week goes well. I hope to see to do another vlog or two during the week. And have a good rest of week, and I will be back with you shortly. Take care.